All right, so in this case, guys, example 3, it says factor as a product of two binomials. They're actually just telling you to factor the expression, and your final answer should be two binomial expressions that are being multiplied. So in this case, starting off, I will be showing you guys two different methods here. I will be starting off with the diamond method, and then I'll go ahead and move on to our second method, which is the new one. So in this case, diamond method, in this case, first thing we want to go ahead and do here is we want to go ahead and identify our A, B, and C values. Please don't get confused because we have a b there, that this b, it's the same one. It's not. It's just different variables. This is the original for quadratic equations or expressions. This is just, this could be any letter, basically. So in this case, a represents the number in front of the squared term. In this case, it's a b squared, so that would be a -1. In this case, b represents the x coefficient, or in this case, a b, but we actually don't have one, so that's a 0. C in this case represents the constant, which in this case is 121. So let's go ahead and build our diamond. And in the diamond, we have a times c on top, and we have b on the bottom. A times c in this case, guys, is going to give us -121, and b in this case gives us 0. So in this case, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to a -121 and add up to a 0. In this case, those numbers would actually be -11 and 11. Now, in this case, guys, our a value here is a -1. So because this is a -1, I do have to do something with this here. Unless it's just a 1, then we'd be done. But since this here is a -1, I'm actually going to go ahead and divide both of my terms by a -x. This is the Jaime Escalante method. We divide by a and our x variable. So in this case, this one here, I can actually simplify since I have two negatives here. This is actually going to turn into a +11 and a +x. On this side, we are actually not going to simplify that because we really can't simplify it. So then my answer in this case is as follows. So starting off with this one here, I have x plus 11. And on this one, I have a -x plus 11. Another way you could be seeing this is that because our expression did start off with the constant first and then the variable second, I could actually express this as 11 plus an x times 11 minus an x. And this is actually how you're going to be seeing it most of the time if your constant or the number is given to you first. But both of these are correct. Now, let me go ahead and show you guys the formula. Now, in this case, guys, the formula goes as follows. We have the expression of x squared minus an a squared, which in this case is an expression where both terms are perfect squares and they're being subtracted. So by perfect squares, I mean 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and so on. Those would be considered perfect squares. So what they're telling you, what we have to do in this case, if we want to go ahead and use the formula, is in this case we have the terms or the expression 121 minus b squared. In this case, you want to go ahead and take the square root of both of these or find the square root. In this case, square root of 121 is 11, or I could express 121 as 11 to the second power because 11 times 11 is 121 minus, in this case, I could express b as b to the second. And in this case, x is represented by the 11, and the a is represented by the b. So how the formula goes in this case is that you will have an expression that is x minus an a times x plus an a, or the other way around. So in this case, what this is telling me is that I could write this, since this is x and this is a, I could actually write this as 11 minus a b times 11 minus or plus a b. And I just noticed I did x on this side. I actually changed that. Let me change those to B's. See, even I forget. Those are B's. All right. So then once again, guys, these are the exact same answer. All right. So those are two different ways you could approach it once again. And in this case, guys, if you start off with a constant first or a number first before your squared term, then you'd be looking at something like this. But this is not a wrong way. This is also correct, but you will be seeing this more than this one. All right. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. And the next one in this case is this area model here. So in this case, it says the rectangle below has an area of 49 minus x squared square meters and a width of 7 plus x meters. What expression represents the length of the rectangle? So in this case, once again, whenever we're working with these problems, and this is actually a problem a lot of students struggle with when we took other quizzes, is goal in this case is to actually find the missing length here. But in order to do that, I'm actually going to go ahead and do the diamond method on this one. Or I could actually use a formula. So if I use a formula, I'm actually going to go ahead and use a formula here, because that's faster. So formula, once again, we have x squared minus, let me go ahead and do that more on the bottom. We have x squared minus an a squared, which in this case turns into x to the second minus a to the second power, where in this case we'd get an answer of x minus an a times x plus an a. All right, notice in this case the binomials are almost identical, only thing different is their sign. So let's go ahead and do this here with 49 minus an x squared. So this is 49 minus an x squared. In this case, I want to go ahead and express 49 and x squared with their square roots. So in this case, square root of 49 is 7. So 7 squared is the same thing as saying 49. X in this case, same thing as saying x to the second. So in this case, this one represents x, this one represents a. So then that's what we're going to go ahead and be formatting here. So our answer here should be 7 minus an x times 7 plus an a, plus an x, I'm sorry. But in this case, that's our factored form. But the only thing is that they're asking only for one side. So our missing side in this case, our length, is 7 minus x, because they already gave us 7 plus x. So our answer here is 7 minus an x. And in this case, guys, you could do the diamond method here. It should be giving you the same answer. And let me actually show it on top, just for those that might be confused. Show it on top here. We want to go ahead, we have a 49 minus an x squared. So let's identify A, B, and C. A in this case is a -1, B is a 0, C is 49. All right, so let's go ahead and build our diamond here. And I have a -49 on top and a 0 on the bottom. Once again, this is A times a C. And two numbers that multiply to a -49 and add up to a 0 would be the -7 and the 7. Since our leading coefficient here is a -1, I'm actually going to go ahead and divide both of these by a -x and simplify the ones I can. And by simplify means this one would actually turn into positives. So if we write our answer here, we have, once again, I'm going to start with the number first. 7 plus an x times 7 minus an x. And in this case, it's the same thing we got down here, but the only one that was missing was this one right there. So as well that one and that one.